In today's episode, we're going to talk about 3 little pieces of gear that I end up using a whole lot. Purpose of today's episode is really just to look at 3 things that I find myself using over and over again, fairly inexpensive, that really help a lot. First thing is a Leatherman tool. Specifically, this is the Leatherman Wingman model, and this model has a variety of things that make them really useful. Obviously, you have pliers for loosening things that are cinched down too tight, and that happens on film sets all the time, so that can be really helpful. Of course, there's also a knife for cutting lots of stuff. There are scissors for your lavalier hiding kit, so if you need to cut some moleskin or perhaps some top stick tape, anything like that, you've got scissors here to do that. There are also screwdrivers, both flathead and Phillips. There are some other tools that are included as well, like can openers and other types of cutters. These are all helpful. I'm always glad when I have my Leatherman tool. Almost invariably, I need it on a shoot, and so I always find it helpful to have. There is also this nylon sheath that if you really want to increase the nerd factor, you can put this on your belt and wear it around, and it keeps it safe and keeps it with you. Next up is the rabbit key, which is a universal camera key. I find this useful for all of the different things that I have to attach and detach on my rig, and it works for almost everything. In fact, I've never found a thing that needed a screw that it didn't work for. You'll notice that it has a rounded edge at the top and then, of course, a flathead type of screwdriver at the bottom. The rounded head is nice because I find that on some of the camera cages and things of that nature, they actually have sort of a rounded groove, and so this makes it easy to work with those as well. It's very small, it's very affordable at about $8 US. You can also put it on your key ring. It has a hole for that. And if you prefer, where I actually store it is in the sheath for my Leatherman tool. There's a nice little pocket under this piece of Velcro here, so I always have it with my Leatherman tool. You might ask the question, well, why do you have this camera key if the Leatherman tool has a flathead screwdriver? Well, I actually find that this camera key works a little bit better than that particular flathead screwdriver. If you need to do a lot of torque, it's really nice to have this key. It works well. It's super thick. It's super sturdy. On the Leatherman, the blade on the flathead screwdriver is a little bit thinner, so it doesn't fit a lot of the rigging and, sort of the camera cage and all of that sort of gear. So the camera key works really nicely in that case. Next up are stand daddies. Stand daddies are a way to stabilize your light stands so that they don't tip over. Now, up until about 2 months ago, I've been using the sand-filled saddlebags. Those work really, really well on C-stands, but they don't work as well on these foldable, portable stands that many of us use when we go on location because they're lighter weight. So the problem is that when you put them on the legs, they don't stay in place very well. They don't stabilize the stand very well. You can put them on the spreaders, but that's a little bit fiddly. And in some cases on the cheaper stands, I found if they have protruding screws, those have actually punctured the bags and then you get sand everywhere. So they're just not the ideal solution. The nice thing about stand daddies is that really all they are is these collars that you can put on the legs of the stands. And then you use your own free weights. If you happen to have some free weights around, like you'd use on a dumbbell, you just put those on the legs and it stabilizes the stand very, very nicely. They stay in place. If you have to lift the stand and move it, you can just lift it with all the weights on it. Very easy to use, and it works really, really well. Also, you can put it on the end of a boom, so if you're booming a light or booming something else out, you can provide a counterbalance, and they're reasonably priced as well. So I think these are made by a very small company. It's just a guy with a machine shop that actually makes things himself. They are made out of a really, really high-density composite material of some sort, so they're lightweight. And you also have the option of this weight carrier, so that when you are schlepping them around on set or on location, it's easy to get all your weights there and then back when you need to load them out as well. So there are 3 things that I find myself using over and over and over again that are really helpful and make the day's shoot go a little bit smoother. Hope those are helpful for you. If you have any questions, go ahead and leave those down below. And if you've not already subscribed, make sure you do that, and we'll be sure to get you more great videos on how to improve your lighting and sound for video. Talk to you soon.